What's going on, everyone? My name is Pirag Chuthani. I'm currently an MD MBA student here at Yale University, and I do a lot of videos related to medicine and productivity. Today, we're going to talk a bit about a residency deep dive. So, for those of you who know, because I'm a med student here in the States, when you apply to residency, you have to go through this entire process, and because of that, I have actually learned a lot about what it takes to get into residencies of different specialties. And in particular, I'm doing internal medicine. So what I figured is we're going to do a deep dive into what it takes to get into internal medicine residency here in the States. We're going to go over things such as the Step 1 and Step 2 score, the number of publications you might need, and even a little bit fun stuff like my headshot. You can see here, this was the headshot I used for residency. So we're going to go through each of those, and I'm hoping to do different specialties like these moving forward, and hopefully it provides value to you. So without further ado, let's get started. If you don't already follow this channel, almost everything I do is based off of pure evidence in terms of like the interpretation of that evidence. That's usually up to me, but the foundation of every video comes from detailed reports that are put out by the AAMC. You can see that this video today is based on the report on residents, which is going to be linked in the description below. Today I'm going to talk about the specialty of internal medicine as well as the applicants that matched into internal medicine in 2021. We're going to go over things like their USMLE STEP1 score, Step 2 CK score, the number of pubs they had, everything like that. And if you want to know all of the details and all of the information, again, it's going to be linked in the description below. So before we even get started, it's very important to think about the demographics that make up the internal medicine residency. So if you now look at the total amount of residency spots across the United States, there's 28,659 internal medicine residents in the United States. That's PGY1, PGY2, and PGY3. And if you look at the several PDFs that are shown in the link that I've attached, you can see that you can break these down by international medical graduates, MD graduates from US and Canada, as well as DO graduates within the US. And so I kind of broke down each of these three categories into the male and female, how people identify. And you can see that as of right now, out of the 28,659, 21.9% of those are male IMGs, 17.6% of those are female IMGs, 24.7% of the 28,000 are male MDs, 19.5% are female MDs, and 9.8% are male DOs, and 6.4% are female DOs. So this is the kind of internal medicine residency makeup within the United States. And now we can actually go even deeper into the facets that I know many of you are curious about, which is the Step 1 and Step 2 CK scores. Specifically, the report on residents only talks about first-year residents. These are individuals who are just starting their intern year, and because they just matriculated into residency, we actually have some insights into them. And so this is going to be only the PGY1s and their average scores, but nevertheless, it's still very important. So let me show you this slide. It's actually very informative. For the incoming PGY1s for 2021, you can actually see their Step 1 and Step 2 CK scores here. This is only for internal medicine, and that to the categorical division. And you can see that there's a 2x2 column here, right? This column right here is the Step 1 score. This column right here is the Step 2 score. And you can kind of place yourself into where you would fit. So for example, if your Step 2 CK score was 235 and your Step 1 score was a 250, then you would fall into this bucket right here. The 235 is your Step 2 CK, so it's right here, and then 250 is right here. So that's where you'd fall. And you can kind of get a glimpse of all of the general distribution of scores of people going into internal medicine residency. You can see that only 4.3% of PGY1s in categorical internal medicine had a Step 1 score above a 259. That was definitely not me, right? And you can see that 12.1% had a Step 1 score in between 250 and 259. In terms of Step 2 CK scores, you can see that 14% of individuals had a Step 2 CK score above 259. 19.7% had a Step 2 CK score between 250 and 259. So that's kind of how you can read this chart. And you can see, obviously, it adds up to the 7,839 PGY1 internal medicine categorical residents. And it's all broken down by Step 1 and Step 2 CK score. You may be upset. You're like, Prereq, this still doesn't tell me much. I want to know the median. I want to know the percentiles. Let's do that. Well, don't worry. I got you. Here is the breakdown. So you can see that, as I said, there's around 7,000. In this case, 7,800 is the data we had here, but you can actually break it down and you see that around 7,000, there's a lot more scores here that you can see people submitted. Some people submit extra scores, and some people haven't even taken Step 2 CK. So all that to say, you can see that 1,420 applicants had complex level 1 and level 2 scores that they submitted. The average scores for each of them is here, as well as the 10th percentile, the 25th percentile, the 50th percentile, the 75th percentile, and 90th percentile. For those of you who are not statistically inclined like myself, I had to look up what the hell a percentile was. Percentile means what percent of people is your score better than. So in this case, if you're a 90th percentile, that means your score is better than the 90% of applicants or individuals that we're comparing you to. So in this case, if you have a step 1 score of 254, it is better than 90% of the internal medicine applicants who got accepted into residency. If you have a step 2 CK score of 262, you are in the 90th percentile. The one that's particularly important, I think, is the average. So you can see that the average step 1 score is a 231.4 for incoming PGY1 categorical residents, and the average step 2 CK score for incoming PGY1 residents for internal medicine was about 242. Again, really good data to have, and just wanted to make it accessible for everyone. Next up, this is the last part that I think is very important for anyone applying to residency. You know, residency is a holistic process, so they care not just about your step 1 score, not just about your step 2 CK score, but holistically overall about what other things you did. So you can see that of the individuals, 7,409 applicants, they had information on them. And you can see the number of research experiences everyone had, the number of presentations, abstracts, and publications combined that they had, as well as the number of work experiences and the number of volunteer experiences. I like to focus a bit more on the average, but you can see I also broke it down by 10th percentile, 25th percentile, 50th percentile, 75th percentile, and 90th percentile. The interpretation of all of these is exactly what you would think. Again, exactly before. If you're in the 90th percentile, that means that having 11 volunteer experiences would put you as better than 90% of the people who are incoming PGY1s. 90% had fewer than 11 experiences, is another way, 11 volunteer experiences. So with that being said, you can see that the 90th percentile for abstracts, publications, and presentations is 12. So if you had more than 12 abstracts plus publications plus presentations, that would put you in the 90th percentile for applicants last year who got into residency. The median, which is the 50th percentile, is 3. So most people had an average of 3 abstracts, presentations, and publications combined. The number of work experiences, which are usually things that you get paid for, you can see that the median for that was also 3 with an average of 4. Similarly, the median was 3 here, but the average number of abstracts, presentations, and publications was 5.2. And the number of volunteer experiences was about 6.2. All that to say, clearly shows you there's a lot of different ways to get into residency, and now you hopefully have a better idea, if you're just starting as a med student, the number of publications and abstracts to kind of aim for if you're hoping to go into internal medicine. And don't worry, I'm hoping to do this for other specialties as well. And as I do, this will provide more information for everyone who is going to these specialties. So if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, comment, share, subscribe, and I really hope you found this helpful, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.